Bill, what's happening? We're going live. Bill, what is happening? I hope you're doing well on this Monday morning. I have an empty seat. I need to pull the seat closer to me. I'm so sad. I left Mandy in quotes on the show. Mandy's always with me as my co-anchor, co-partner, co-producer, co-owner of the Mobile Rundown. Today she's not. I feel like I'm falling apart. My lighting is broken. I don't have a co-anchor. That is not good. It doesn't matter. We're still excited. We're pumped. And we actually have a really cool guest, a good friend of ours that does some amazing stuff that's going to be on the show with us today. Her name is Natalie Wynn. We're going to be bringing her on in a little while. But we'll go few things real quick, go through some stuff real quick. So if you don't know who we are, we're Brooks and Mandy. We run and operate the Mobile Rundown. So we basically connect you with stuff that's happening in town. We want to connect the community. We want you to get out and do Mobile. We do all these things. We also produce events ourselves. We Rock, dude. Thank you, Rock. Thank you for supporting me. It feels really weird not to have Mandy beside me. I'm thinking I'm gonna leave my arm up maybe like this, like during the show or something. And is this weird? I should. Oh man, if I had thought ahead, Rock, I could have had a little. We could have done like a blow up doll of Mandy, or we could have had a sit in or something like that. I don't know. We could have done something like that. Would have been great, but that's okay. Rock, we appreciate your support. So that's who we are at the Mobile Rundown. That's what we do. We've got some stuff though. So we have all kinds of stuff happening. If you have not heard, we have a Yard of the Month new program that we're doing. Super excited about that. I'm gonna pull up my screen. I didn't realize I didn't have my screen pulled up, so I'm gonna pull that up. So what this is, the reason why we're doing it, the reason why we're doing Yard of the Month is, man, people have some really incredible yards, and we notice that there's like these HOAs, and they get awarded. And they get these signs, but we're like, wait a minute, everyone doesn't get this opportunity. Like, everyone doesn't necessarily get to do this. So we decided, well, why don't we do this? Like, why can't the Mobile Rundown award Yard of the Month? So that's exactly what we're doing. So if you have someone that you want to recommend, go to our website, themobilerundown.com. You'll see right on the homepage where you can hold on a second. You'll see right on our homepage where you can suggest, you can nominate. So just click here. You can nominate someone for Yard of the Month. Look, we have signs. Like we're not playing around here. We're not playing around. We have signs already printed up. We're ready to go with that. So that's Yard of the Month. So this month you have the month to nominate someone, put in their information here, and then we will be awarding that person. Then they'll get to pay it forward, which is really cool. It's kind of like one of the exciting parts of the of that program. They'll get to pay it forward to the next person of their choice, which is kind of cool. Another thing that we have coming up that we're super excited about is the Mobile Fit Club. So we're going to be doing a program for 3 weeks for like healthy type living. And we want you to be a part. So if you can check this out here, you can get more information, see what we're doing. It doesn't matter if you've never exercised before or if you're like a pro. We just want to connect with people and we want to exercise together and have camaraderie. So it's going to start September 7th and go through September 26th. All fitness levels, doesn't matter. And a part of that is a Facebook, is a group that will be related just to like that. And it's really fun because you get to like take pictures and share with each other and say, oh man, my workout was great. It was hard. It was this, whatever. And so it doesn't matter your fitness level. And it's more than just the workouts too. It's like, it's like water intake and getting enough sleep and all that kind of stuff. Very important, things for health. So if you want to check that out, again, that's on our website. From the homepage, just scroll down, you'll find Mobile Fit Club. And you can get the information right there. So go there, check that out. join us. You have, all this month we'll be promoting it. So you have plenty of time to hop on board. So we're looking forward to that. David, thank you. Appreciate that. We are back. We are back in town. We are, and I don't have a co-anchor, which is why I have my arm around my imaginary co-anchor, Mandy. I even put her name in parentheses this morning so that I could still include her in the show. We want to do that. So, all right. So we've got Natalie Wynn. She's going to be coming on with us in just a few minutes. Really excited about that conversation, but we've got a few more things that we want to go through, such as
quote of the day.
Usually Mandy would read this. Makes me so sad. But I'm going to put it up on the screen. I'm going to do it myself. So set goals that excite you and scare you at the same time. Woo! I like this one personally. Set goals that excite you and scare you at the same time. It's a perfect quote for our guest today, because that's guaranteed something that we're going to be chatting about when Natalie comes on. Is going to be chatting about some goal setting. So hope you're doing that. Hope you're setting some goals that excite you and scare you all at the same time. We really dig that. All right, I've got another segment, and that is the Do Some Good Mobile segment. Guys, I'll be honest with you. I'm super impressed at myself that I can hit all kinds of buttons and bring in information on the screen all without a co-anchor. I have no idea how I'm doing this, but it's just kind of working out. Okay, so our Do Some Good. So quarantine trivia. You guys can join this tomorrow evening. I know a little bit about the trivia now. It's 7 rounds. Look, when we do trivia here on our show, we're like 1 round of trivia. I don't know, 10 or 12 questions. That's what you get. Here you get 7 rounds. So I'm reading this and learning. There's a young man that basically fell really far. Apparently approximately 50 feet, broke a lot of stuff. It is apparently miraculous, which makes sense that this gentleman survived. And so trivia is going to be played to help this situation with this person. So if you don't like trivia and you just want to donate, you can do that too. We'll put that. I'm going to put that in our conversation here while we're chatting, because if I don't do it now, I won't be able to do it later because Mandy's not here helping me. So that's all right. That's okay. Mandy, we love you. I'm not going to say anything negative about you if you're listening to this later. I love you. Okay. All right, cool. So that is that. So thank you guys for doing that quarantine trivia. So let's go over. There's a few things real quick. So we can go over a couple of events that are upcoming. Just want you to know about these. Let me pop this back on my screen. So we've got Sip and See, Create with Coastal Makers. Oh, wait. No. Hold on. Did I miss that one? See, 3rd. Oh, okay, to August 4th. Okay, yeah. So that's still happening. On the 6th, it's Mr. Bellingrath's birthday. And I hope they have birthday cake. I'm not really sure how this is going to go down, but I know that the Azalea Trail Maids are going to be out at Bellingrath Gardens. They have discounted admission because of this. It's pretty cool. Okay. And then on Saturday the 8th, Ransom Springtime Market. So that's going to be out at the grounds, which is really cool. This is they've done this for a number of years now. So it's an all-day event. So you can check out that. And then on the 15th, the Rubber Ducky Regatta, which has been going on for quite some time, it's going to be virtual. And I feel like they've maybe partially done it virtual in the past. I don't know that for sure. But this time it's definitely virtual. But I feel like in the past you could actually watch it. You could watch it live, like go see the actual duckies. But I feel like you could maybe watch it virtual before or whatever. Information on all these events on the Mobile Rundown. So you hop on our website and just check out our event section, and you can get information to those. All right. So I think I want to bring on Miss Natalie. I have a few more things to talk about, but at the same time, I don't want to forgo this opportunity. I want to go ahead and bring on Natalie. So Natalie, welcome, friend. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for being on this morning to chat about all things really.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm sad Mandy's not there. I miss her face.
I know. Yeah, last minute adjustment, some things we had to do on our end. Yeah, she was super looking forward to being on the interview with you, but hopefully you can maintain with me with no lights, with no co-anchor, with all this stuff. So tell everyone who you are. Like, just kind of give us like the 60-second kind of version or overview of who you are. So if people like that listen to this later, don't know.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm Natalie. I am a life coach. I've been doing that for about 3 years now. I meet specifically with women, helping them create balance. I really like working with women that are entrepreneurs or busy moms, people that need help with creating some organization in their life and just finding balance so that they can really find joy and peace and just live their best life. And I have a husband. He's actually the owner of Chick-fil-A Dauphin Street locally. So we are both busy people between both of those things. And I'm from Atlanta originally and moved down here about 7 years ago. So we live over in Spanish Fort. And yeah, we love the area. We love living here. And it's a little bit about me.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, and you and me were joking before about I made the joke. I was asking when Chick-fil-A is going to try to create the fourth lane there, because Chick-fil-A, I don't know, especially y'all's location on Dauphin Street. I'm pretty sure people can attest to this. I actually made a video of this, Natalie, before we switch back to you. I just realized this. I made a video when we were going through the drive-thru. There was like an air traffic controller dude that was out there. Like, it was amazing. Yeah. He was like, "Stop, you," directing traffic, like getting everyone in and out. And it was pretty wild.
Mr. Bill, he's military man, actually, ex-military. So he knows how to get it done. Yeah.
I felt it. Okay. I could feel the military. Yeah. So yeah. That's pretty darn impressive. It was pretty crazy. So, yeah. All right, cool. So that's who you are. So about coaching, so women, especially entrepreneurial, and I know you work with teen girls as well. Let's talk about that in a second. Which that's super exciting. Let's bring that back up. Or actually, if you want to go, let's fast forward. Go ahead and jump to teens, because I know that you work with teen girls as well, right?
Yeah. I work in a couple of different ways, but this fall something exciting is coming. So it'll be in Daphne, Alabama. Everything's tentative, waiting on like zoning and all those fun things. But I'll be opening up a community space for teen girls, specifically at-risk teens. So working in conjunction with the foster care system. So my goal is to help create just a safe space for girls to come after school. And teach them skills and career training, and just have like a mentorship program where they're meeting one-on-one with other women that care and want to invest in their lives. So I've been mentoring teens at Light of the Village last year. And so I really had a heart to specifically open a place across the bay here in kind of an area in Daphne that's a little bit lower income, and just really have a heart for wanting to work one-on-one with teen girls. So yeah.
That's really amazing. And yeah, and so we knew about your work with Light of the Village, and but that's really cool that you've kind of so what made you want to go out and maybe get an actual building? I mean, this is a big step. This is not just, hey, I'm working with, another organization, which is already huge.
Yeah.
This is you kind of, I mean, this is another like big step. So like what drove you to want to take this, make this move?
Yeah, it's been a passion in my heart probably for at least 2 or 3 years. I knew that I wanted to have a community space because I see the need for teens whenever they leave school. And this year especially is so weird. So but before COVID, after school, they go home and maybe their parents work till 5 or 6 and they're at home alone. And it doesn't give them a lot of opportunity to be mentored or poured into. And so I specifically have always had a heart and passion for helping victims of sex trafficking. And so there's a really high risk, about 60 to 65% of people that are in that life have been were runaways or were in the foster care system, just because they didn't have a lot of people that were really helping, shape them for the future. And so I honestly, like 2 weeks ago, I went for a drive and I found this space, and I just decided to take a chance. And I've had this dream and this like goal for myself, but I was really, a little nervous. Like you said, it's a big thing to decide to like open a place versus partnering with something that's already existing. So I asked the guy if I could look at it, and I made an offer that afternoon. So it was kind of a risk, but like that goal or that quote said earlier, that's kind of part of goals. So yeah, I'm excited.
I'm assuming you didn't know. So I didn't create the quote. Show people created the quote, but did you know that was going to be our quote or no?
No, not at all.
Okay, cool.
That.
How fitting, right? Hold on, let me go bring it back just one more time. So set goals that excite you and scare you at the same time.
Yeah, that's me right now. I'm excited and I'm so afraid. So yeah.
But like, like life, like life is risk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anything good worth doing is a risk or a chance or whatever. And actually, by you not taking a risk or not taking a chance is also like its own risk. Like
yeah. And that's what I talk to clients about too, is like, if you were to look 5 years from now and you never took this chance or this risk, would you regret it? And I know for me, I would. So I think that's what it like comes down to, is if it's something that is like a passion enough for you or something that is like really burning in you, then I think you have to step out in faith. And then, it doesn't mean that you're going to have the whole plan or all the steps lined up, but it'll come to you as you go. So yeah, I'm excited.
That's huge. That's huge. And in a very small way, that's the reason why I jumped into some freezing cold water like 2 days ago in these freshwater springs in Florida.
Really?
So we were on some family vacay. It's like there's like all these natural springs like all over Florida, whatever. It's super cold, and I didn't really want to jump in. My son didn't want. He was like, "Nah, whatever, I'm good." I was like, you know what? So this is a super small level of that, but it's still along the same vein of thinking. I was like, if I don't jump in this and like enjoy it, even though it's freezing cold and it takes my breath away, like I will totally regret this. Like this afternoon, tomorrow, the next day, I'll be thinking about it. So I was like, I gotta do this. So anyway, jumped in the cold springs, froze myself, and then it was exciting after that. So
yeah,
feel the fear and kind of do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like, take some action. So that is super exciting. I didn't know that it was that fresh, Natalie, that like you just found this place, just made the offer. Like that's wild. That's super cool.
I haven't officially announced it, but I guess I kind of am right now. So
yeah, I was gonna ask. Yeah, I didn't, and keep us in the loop, of like, of the situation. Like just keep us in tune, like with what happens and what's going on and how we can help and whatever we can do. So
really, thank you.
That's super cool. All right, so let me ask you this question. Like COVID is kind of crazy. I think like clearly we're in like an unknown. It kind of is. Anyone that says, "Oh, I have all the answers," like they don't have all the answers, because we're just in like uncharted territory. But like, what are some things that as a life coach, like what are some things that we as people or business people or just everyday people, like what are some things that we can do to maybe create some balance and have some sanity and whatever, just like any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the biggest thing for what I see for a lot of people, especially people that have kids that have been home for the summer, and now we're going into the school year, especially in Mobile County, with still having them at home, or even if the people in Baldwin County are choosing to keep their children at home. So you're having to like reroute your life and figure out what that looks like. Most people are not prepared to be a homeschool teacher or to advise on that. And so I think the biggest thing is trying to, number one, look at your time management and really like structuring your day so that you can feel in control, because a lot of times the things that block us in our lives, like our fears and things that overwhelm us and stress and anxiety, they come from us not being in control of something. So COVID has totally thrown us out of control. And so for me, and for I think a lot of people, if you're able to say, okay, I can't control COVID, I can't control that my kids can't go back to school right now, but what can I control? And then looking at those things can really help you to feel like a little bit more peace and feel like you're able to create balance in your life. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it does.
Like for some tangibles, I can, come up with some ideas, but I wanted to let you talk because I know I said a long thing.
No, that's good. I guess I was just kind of like thinking it through. Like basically, I guess what I take from that is like take some control over some things that you can control. Like specifically like your time, and like there's a lot being thrown at us, stuff that we didn't ask for. We're like, how am I going to do this? But just like, figure out how we can control the aspects that we can control within that. And I guess just by default, like having some of that control like makes us feel better or makes us feel more like more in control, I guess, for lack of better words, by like.
Yeah. And I think, so something is structuring your day before your day begins. I know we talked about this before, but having a plan for your day. So if your kids are going to do school from 8 to 12, and how are you going to manage that? Can you multitask while they're doing school and get some laundry done or, meal prep? So trying to like look at your day ahead of time so you feel like it doesn't get hijacked by everybody else. And I think that's the biggest thing with time management is a lot of time other people and other things take away our time, and we don't get to really dictate our day because it's like taken away from us by everyone else in our lives. So whether that's your job or the people in your life. For me, like creating a daily, weekly, monthly structure helps me to like know what to prepare for. I really encourage people to do time blocking. Have we talked about that before?
I don't know if we like you and I may have, but maybe not to the world. So I don't know. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. And you can Google time blocking and get like lots of different resources, but there's a way to time block on your phone or paper wise. I like paper. Some people like digital, but it's literally blocking out every hour of your day and knowing what you have and what you can accomplish. So for me, like I say, okay, from 6 to 7 is like my morning routine. 7 to 8 is getting ready. 8 to 9 is this. And so then I take, my whole structure for the day of work and preparation of things, whether it's cooking or working out, and I block out time for it so that I know this is when I'm working out. This is when I'm cooking dinner. This is when I'm, doing a social media post. And it can be even 10-minute increments. But it helps you to see like, okay, this is what every hour of my day is versus from 8 to 5, I'm going to work. It can feel a little bit overwhelming when you have a lot to do and only so many hours versus if you go ahead and prepare, when are you going to get it done?
So if you time block, like is the benefit, I mean, obviously you can like tangibly see everything that you're doing. But I guess it could also help with like, if you just have like a giant list of like 40 things to do, for example, and I guess you may not know like, hey, like I can't do all these today. Yeah. Like it's not going to work. But I guess if you time block, maybe it'll help you realize like, oh, okay, there's like 6 of those items that are going to fit today or whatever. Is that a benefit, do you think, of time blocking or?
Yeah, the biggest thing with time blocking is knowing what you have to do and when you can do it. And so a lot of times, like you said, we have this like mental list or you write everything down that you need to get done and you can't get it done. There's just not enough hours in the day. And then, so you put the priority, maybe take your top 3 priorities for the day. And then if you factor those in, then maybe you do have some extra time. You can plug in some other areas. I always encourage people to do the thing that they're putting off first. So the hardest thing first. We always put the hardest thing like, oh, I'll get to that later. And then you never get it done and you dread it. But the thing that like you don't want to do and is the hardest and that you're dreading doing, you should just do it get it out of the way, and then you can feel like a little bit less stressed because you've already accomplished that.
That's so big, like that. So it's funny because like I personally know that there's this book that I read a long time ago, and actually I still go back and I refer to it. It's called Eat That Frog. It's about this guy named Brian Tracy, and that's what it's all about. He's basically saying like attack the ugliest, meanest, the biggest, the hardest, the thing, first, like in your day. And like I know this, Natalie, on a personal level. So I wonder if anyone else listening like gets this or knows this. I know this, yet I still have a very, very difficult time saying I'm starting with that one, because it's like I want these like little wins of like doing other things. Like, oh, well, that's so easy. That's only 10 minutes, or that's only 5 minutes. Like, oh, I can just do that. But and then it never fails. Then it ends up it's like 4 p.m. and I'm like, well, I don't have time for that today. Like now I can't do it.
Yeah.
But if I just like maybe I could have accomplished it that day, you know?
I know. I'm still this. I mean, I help people do this, and I still struggle with it because I think it's definitely a mental block for us because we know that it's not something we necessarily want to spend time on. And if you are an achiever type person, which I think you are, is the crossing off the list is, a little fulfilling. So whenever you can cross up a bunch of little things, it makes you feel a little better. For me, if I write all these things down and I only accomplish like one thing, that's going to really bother me a little bit. So,
gotcha.
It depends on your personality type. So,
does that mean you're making out little things to put on your list just so you can cross them off? Is that what that means?
I do.
Like, tie my shoes.
Drink
water.
Done.
Done. So that's cool. So, but I guess anyone could apply that, right? Like no matter what someone's making a list for, it doesn't matter. I mean, it could be for like a kid in a young person in school that needs to, block their time out, or I mean, like literally anyone. Someone. It doesn't have to be a working person per se that's trying to, accomplish whatever. I mean, I guess that can really carry over to any personality type. Like, do you think?
Oh yeah. And it depends too if you're like a digital or written person too.
Yeah.
So and I even just like I'll use the reminders section in my iPhone to just like write everything down, and then I can plug it into paper time blocking. But it's definitely something to try out for like a week if you've never done it. Anybody listening, you can just write down every 30 minutes or every hour of the day, and what are you going to do during that time? Because I really try to encourage people to look at, we always say like, oh, I didn't have time for that, or I don't have enough time. And if we were to look at how much time we are watching TV and using our phones and sleeping in and getting back 30 minutes here and there, it would make a big difference in our, everything we're able to get done. So.
Yeah. Don't make me feel bad, Natalie. Don't make me feel bad.
But, that's another thing though, is going back to overall balance is putting in that time for yourself, because you can stray the other way of like too much achieving and too much doing and never like taking time to chill out and watch Netflix or scroll your phone. Like I think those are all good things for us in moderation. Or my husband and I had a Netflix binge Yellowstone one day, and it was the best thing for me. So, Was this
Yellowstone? Is that the name of the show?
Yeah, I was going to say not Netflix. It's on Paramount, but yeah, it's really good.
Okay. All right. Yellowstone. Okay.
But within that balance piece though, the self-care, one thing I tell people a lot of times we look at, okay, am I working out? Am I eating healthy? But we don't look at the mental and emotional side of us and making sure that we're taking care of those pieces. So that's kind of like the whole person. And a lot of times we think we're being healthy or taking care of ourselves when we're working out and eating right, but we're not mentally or emotionally taking care of ourselves. So that's something to look at too.
Yeah. It's a whole thing, the whole enchilada, huh? The whole deal. So I feel like those parts may be easily overlooked. Like if people, especially people maybe that do have a regiment for like, oh, I eat healthy and I work out. But maybe they don't have the regiment for, and it could be the other way around for other people. But like, I just feel like if you're missing a piece, Maybe it's the mental rest or whatever. If you're missing it and you don't know you're missing it, it's easy. I feel like it's easy to overlook it. And then it's also easy for it to like have effects on you, or like for them to compound or whatever.
Yeah.
Like what's a way, I don't know, like how can people be self-aware of like, hey, do I have all of these pieces? And like, am I missing anything? Like, is there anything that I need to work on? Like, is there a way for a person just to kind of like do a self-assessment and just say, oh, wow, I'm lacking at this. Any idea if that's possible?
I think one of, there's this really great book called Margin. Am I freezing at all? No.
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
Margin? Margin. And it's about creating space in your life. And they talk about how if we don't have enough margin, like if you look at a piece of paper, the margins are like the outside lines. And I share this with people in school. Like I used to widen the margins, narrow them in so that your paper looked longer. Because it was, had to be 5 pages long, so you could narrow the margins in, and then your Word document would be longer. So think about those margins are the extra space in our lives. A lot of times we fill up that page of our paper with so much stuff that we're getting smaller and smaller space for ourselves and for taking care of ourselves. And so, anyways, it's a great book, but it talks about how if you find yourself getting like overwhelmed, emotional, easily crying, easily angered, losing your patience, like just taking into account any emotions that you're not normally doing, that's when you realize you're probably at your limit. I've noticed that in myself. If I'm an emotional person, so when I start to cry more often, or things like hurt my feelings more, or, for my husband, it might be that his patience dwindles down and he's getting angry. It's usually because those things you're overwhelmed somewhere in your life. And so you just need to take a rest and account for it, and journal or write down all the things overwhelming you, or even, talk to a counselor or a coach. And, see, are there some areas that you maybe haven't even been aware of?
That's a good point. So that's like, I guess maybe the thing that a person can do is to be self-aware that, hey, there's something amiss, there's something wrong, I can tell. And then maybe at that point go and if necessary, or if you just want to, go seek someone else to talk to, like you said, therapist, or someone like you, like a life coach that can help like guide them through that. That's good. I think just like being self-aware. I guess we spend so much time just taking in like what's around us and just reacting to stuff that you really have to take real time to pay attention to, like, within to your how am I reacting with my environment and what's going on, and how am I feeling, and how am I just overall, like, how is my whole being,
Yeah. And I really think that you can account for that either like morning or evening, is like taking 2 minutes, 5 minutes and doing some journaling, or just writing a couple of things, either even typing it in your phone. You could have a journal note section and ask yourself a couple questions like, how was my day? Did anything upset me that is still lingering that maybe I need to talk to a friend or a spouse about? Or just asking yourself some questions about how you're doing, especially with how things have been lately. We're like cooped up at home, or we're seeing so much news or social media, and things are like festering that we're not paying attention to. And then all of a sudden you're like blowing up at your kid and you don't know why. And it's because you're like upset about something else that you haven't thought about or processed. And even asking people in your life, like your spouse or your friends or a family member, like, hey, have I been a short fuse lately, or been too emotional? And like, they can probably be pretty honest with you if they've noticed that you seem overwhelmed or stressed out or anything.
That's a good point. People, find the people that will be honest to you, right? And like tell you how it is. And that self-assessment, that's a really good point. Like in the morning or in the evening is probably a great time. If you're time blocking your day, it should be very easy to do that, right? Like, but that's a good time to do it, because you're not it's either before you get going in the madness, or it's, you know, at the end of all the I'm gonna call it the madness of, you know, of a day, like whatever is in your day. So that's really great. No, I mean, I think that's a good tool. So if people aren't doing that, you know, that's something that maybe they could start doing is to do that. Like literally get out a piece of paper or journal and like be self-aware of like what's going on, that's good. That's good, Natalie. That's super cool. All right. Any final thoughts for, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm not gonna keep you all day and tell that stuff, but any final thoughts about anything like COVID related goal setting or anything else that you want to touch on? We're excited about the Teen Center and want to hear more about that as you go forward, but and let folks know how they can connect with you too. So like if people want to like reach out and find you or whatever, like how can people do that?
My website is flourishccc.com, or you can find me on Instagram. I take on women clients all the time, and I do a free consultation over the phone. So I can let you know if, you can tell me what you're struggling with or what you want to work on, or if you have goals that you're wanting help accomplishing, and then we'll talk and I'll let you know kind of my overall pricing, and I'll make a package work for you. I know that we're all in kind of financial times right now where things aren't easy to come by. So I will be happy to work with you on a pricing package that helps you out. And so just, you can follow along my website, follow me on Instagram. And I think the biggest thing is, I know that a lot of you might be, a lot of you moms and dads that have kids. I don't have kids personally, but as I look towards the school year and kind of the unknown, is just, making sure to take time for yourself. Like we were talking about, take care of yourself. Your kids are going to be okay. They're not going to get so delayed that they won't be able to catch back up. So don't stress yourself out too much.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Like just everyone's in the same boat, right? Like, so that is something that's kept me calm through like literally this entire thing. Is the fact that I'm not the only one, man. I'm not a special snowflake that's like going through some struggle or hitting some brick walls and whatever that may be. Like literally everyone is going through the same thing, and everyone has different struggles and their own thing happening. And someone brought up a good point to me, and this is actually probably ultimately true for all schooling and parental stuff. Like in reality, like us as parents should probably have a good bit of like more push and control and support in like what we're directing our kids with anyway. Like we've probably really relied on the schools to like kind of do everything, like, but that, I mean, that may not ultimately, I mean, I guess like I could do a better job at directing my son into developing things that he's learning and trying to do and pushing him to try some new things and stuff. Like I could do a better job at that, as a parent. So I'm sure a lot of folks could use some of that as well. So
yeah. All in it together.
Well, keep us calm during all this madness, Natalie. Thank you for some really good insights into some things that like we can do and how we can set some goals and create some balance in all this. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much for connecting with us and chatting with us this morning. Well, I say us, like I've got my arm around my virtual Mandy here. Yeah. I've got her name on the screen like she's with me, Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for chatting with us as the rundown. So I appreciate that. And
I really enjoyed talking with you guys, or with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And keep in touch with us about the Teen Center. We want to hear more, and you have a great week, and we'll talk to you more soon. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Brooks. Bye.
All right, Natalie. So that was great. It was crazy virtual interview with Mandy, who Mandy didn't ask any questions. I had to ask all the questions for Mandy, but that's okay. Hopefully I made Mandy proud and asked her what she would have wanted me to ask. So we've included information to connect with Natalie in the show comments. So make sure you do that. There's something that we have not done for a little while, and that is this. Guys, we haven't thanked our patrons for a while. That is no one's fault but mine. We're going to be starting thanking them by name again fairly soon, so don't be scared, don't be shy. But if you want to connect and like get involved and almost like partner with us in some way, you can become a patron. So hop on our website, Mobile Rundown, themobilerundown.com. if you go over to this Get Involved, you can just click Become a Patron, and you can see what this is about. You can see what it entails. You have the opportunity to basically win a lot of free swag, tickets to events, all kinds of stuff. So if you want to hop over there and check this out, you can see what it's about. You can be partnered with us for as little as $1. It's pretty cool. So that is that. Now, to close this out, I do have one more thing.
Fun fact of Mobile.
All right, here it is. I'm going to read it. The USS Alabama is a South Dakota class battleship which saw active duty in the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans during World War II. She was commissioned in 1942 and then decommissioned in 1947, where she saw time as a Naval Reserve training vessel. The ship was placed in Mobile Bay in 1964, where she has been open to the public as a museum ever since. Added fun fact to this, my father told me about when they were kids, they were able to help raise money in order to bring the battleship to Mobile. And they got like a lifetime access card or something. If anyone has one of these, I want to see one. I think he told me about it. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I had it for a long time and then I lost it or whatever. I'm not really sure. But I heard about this. The governor of Alabama at the time, I think, helped with that, or it was a program. We're super interested. If you know about that, let us know. But it's Mandy and I, as you know, she's not here. We appreciate you guys. We hope that you have a great week, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.